Rightio.
Ish. Yeah, people, back in the house.
Yes, guys, what's happening? GRP in the house with another video, and this video is about the end of the SAG actors strike.
The storm is over.
I have to be honest, this is more excitement than when we first heard about it, because with everything that's going on in the world right now, we're not.
Yeah.
But anyway, we won't get into that.
Yeah.
But yeah, strike's over, man.
What's been agreed?
Yeah, well, funnily enough, that's what Damien said he wants to see.
Oh, yeah.
As soon as we spoke about it. But yeah, apparently now they've put it to the board and they've agreed
they've got to the 14th of November, then they're going to release the document. There's 182 pages.
But they still need to put it to the members.
Yes, it's like 160,000 members.
Yeah, before they ratify it. But it looks like it will probably pass.
They're saying it's going to go straight through.
So I'm guessing that it's, for the most part, it's, but like Damien said, I want to see the wording when it comes to the AI stuff.
Deadline, I read something away over. Deadline actually released something. It's not everything, but it's a few key components of it. So most of it is pay increases across the board, even for extras.
Yeah.
The AI one, I'm still a little bit dubious of.
Well, they had. So okay, let's just go through a little bit of the timeline. So the strike has been 4 months now.
Yep.
The sticking point was the AI issue for the studios. They didn't want to compromise on that.
Yep.
They wanted to be able to use
your likeness and your
when alive or dead without any permission.
No.
Do you know what I mean? Without any extra pay.
No.
Do you know what I mean? Which is nonsense. Like any right-minded person will say, no, you can't do that. No. But they didn't budge on it. And that's why, after a while, SAG came up with that 57% levy on subscribers. And I don't blame them. Because John Campbell said they were idiots for doing that. But I was like, well, if they're going to be silly, then you might as well be silly, innit? I mean, because nothing's getting done.
Yeah.
You know? And then they walked away from, the studios walked away from the negotiations for a bit because of that. And then they came back. SAG gave on that whole issue with the subscribers. And the studio still and ahhed about the AI issue. And then even when they gave a few days ago, when they gave their last, best and final offer, they still didn't budge on the AI issue.
Yeah.
And then when SAG said they were still reviewing it, that's when they said, okay, we've changed the wording.
The language.
Or the language, that's it. And then I think that's when they finally got to where SAG wanted it. Because I can't believe that if it isn't on that issue alone, everything SAG wanted, that they would stop the strike. Do you know what I mean? So, but again, we want to see the full wording of that. But yeah, it's great because not only has it affected all the guys over in the US, but it's affected us here.
Yeah,
we've barely had any, none auditions. And in terms of productions being done here, absolute zilch. Do you know what I mean? So let me go to you first, Damien. What do you think about all of this?
Well, I mean, what's the most annoying thing is they could have sorted this out months ago. I'm hearing that the studios refused to meet only up until the start of October.
Yeah. So
they went on strike in July, and the studios went, no, fuck you, we're gonna wait. We can, they're on strike over at the moment with the Writers Guild, so we can just hold this one out with the actors because we can't put stuff into,
Well, remember what they said, we're gonna wait for them to just lose their homes, apparently.
Yeah. So they just no, we'll fold you peasants later on. But the thing what is really striking for me is what they went back down on mostly was the whole idea of residuals. Now they've come to an agreement on residuals where certain shows and a certain amount of watch hours, they're going to get a certain amount of pay, and they're going to share, I think it's something like $1 million or 10 million out to SAG, which will then basically disperse it out to the actors. The AI thing though, I looked at a few things today, and two things are there. What they've now got is there's now consent. And the wording is still a little bit not au fait with me, but the wording is basically when you go and sign a contract now, the studio will say to you, can we use your likeness in any future productions? And an actor can basically state, yes or no.
Okay.
And it has to be after the production's been done, as opposed to at point of signing a contract with
because they can use that to say, well, we're not going to use you for this.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And then on top of that, basically, they can turn around and say, they have to be very transparent of how it's being used. So they have to say, okay, your likeness is going to be used for this project, this project, this project. They can't just turn around and go like, we're going to sell you to a porn company and you'll see your face pop up on the back of someone's asshole. No, it's like literally they have to clarify what you're being used for. So like that's what.
Nah, man.
So and that was the thing. Though, was like, we can use you for anything. We're gonna.
If I'm not there, you're not using me.
No, not at all.
No.
And the worst one for me was being dead. They can just take your likeness and do what they like with it.
But can you imagine like your son sitting there one day in the 30s watching yourself? There's my dad on TV, and a friend goes, I think I saw your dad the other day. What did you see him on? Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But what did you see him on? What did you watch him on? And there was some like, my dad never did that, and he did now because the studio went, how much do you want for his likeness? There you go and use it over there. See Elvis Presley going, and I don't want that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have a few issues with the AI thing still, but I'm really glad that we've finally got this ahead because, as Larry said, and rightfully so, we've now got jobs open again, so he can start applying for auditions. I will in a few years' time. Leon's smacking out of the park already.
Yeah.
Because he's got some lovely auditions coming up.
Yeah.
But it's nice to see. I won't tell you what, because
the talk is cheap.
Yes. So wait till he gets it and he'll be singing his praises.
Singing, literally.
But it's a great thing to see. Now we know, productions can get ahead again. People can get back to work because it hasn't just affected actors, it hasn't just affected the writers. It's affected everyone across the board, from the grips to the camera operators, stage and costume. Everyone has been affected by it. Yeah. Even the coffee shops that will be serving in LA right now, that were going out of business. Yeah. So it's great to see it's back. I do want to see exactly what the agreement is, as I said to you before, because I don't like it when all of a sudden they can go, we're not budging on this, and a few hours later, it's completely changed. We just changed the language. When you change the language, like how have you worded this?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm a bit dubious of. But I'm happy for it. I'd like to see, there's 11% pay increases from what I've seen over a year. It's going to be a pay increase in July, I think it is, and again later on. But it's a total of 11% pay increases across the board, including for background artists.
Okay.
Which I thought was 11%, quite a high pay rise.
It is.
On set. No offense, we're not doing much. Sorry. So yeah, it's a good thing. I'm happy about it. So yeah.
Leon,
what does this change in the language thing mean? I'm just uncomfortable with that. I can say you're a cunt. Or I can say, you know what, you're very undesirable. But
we'll bleep that one out, don't worry.
But it's the same thing.
Yeah. I've just made it sound nicer.
Yeah. So what does that mean?
Yeah,
what does that mean?
I ain't gonna lie, that for me is a bit.
We changed the language.
Like Damien said, I want to see the full.
I want to see black and white in print.
I want to see what that means.
And you know what? If you ever read these things, how hard it is sometimes to break down and decipher. That's why people go to university and get a degree.
That's why
to be able to read these papers.
Well, that's why you have to hire a lawyer.
Yeah,
you have to hire a lawyer.
You can't do it yourself.
No, you can't.
You can't do it. Even some agents can't deal with it. It's above their pay grade. I need a lawyer in here.
That's why most of the really big agencies, they've got a legal department.
Yeah,
they got a legal.
And run it through them.
Yeah.
And then they can really break it down and say, "No, this is not going to work."
Yeah. 100%.
But the other bit was scary was the AI. It's just the AI stuff. I just that worries me in general because we've had propaganda in this world for many years. So when they can start really putting you there, putting Damien there, me there, if they want to write us off for something, this is what he did. Look, I can't tell it's not you. I'm looking at you. Do you know what I mean? It just becomes dangerous. Then we start not believing things. And what do you believe? And then you're just skeptical about everything. Because our eyes are lying to us.
And as paranoid as that might sound, this is Hollywood. These motherfuckers will sell you under the rug to anything.
Bruv, the bottom line is dough.
Yeah.
Cash.
How many actors have said Hollywood is dark? The other side of Hollywood is very dark. I'm talking darker than Weinstein. Dark. So if they really want to get you, and that's just in general, they can get you.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? And just
Oh, just be a few Disney projects in the meantime. How much you want to say you committed a murder? There you go.
you know what I think of The Running Man.
Yeah.
You remember when they
Yeah.
said Ben Richards,
Yeah.
he's blown up everyone, he's going mad, and they punch him up, and then Tutu's he's in The Running Man.
Yeah.
And then they're saying his lover, the woman when they go, she's a whore and this and that, and he's like, none of those things.
I remember even when they got him to sign up, it was like, oh, we won't bring the other two in if you sign up to do it. And then he's there, and then he got the other two there, you bastard.
Yeah, bumped him.
And that's Hollywood.
Yeah, you know that they said this stuff's gonna happen from time, when it was just a pipe dream. So, but just in general, if you do a film and they can just use your likeness, why are they ever gonna call you back?
It's ridiculous.
How are they ever gonna call you back?
It's ridiculous.
Even what's his name from Back to the Future? What was Marty McFly's dad? What's his name? You know the guy that played the dad originally, but Glover, is it something Glover? I can't remember his name. But anyway, so they used his likeness in Back to the Future 2, and they hung him upside down.
Oh,
So you couldn't tell really, and he sued them and got £1 million.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but they never said it was him.
Yeah.
And
See, I'm thinking about
it was very smart what they did. They put him upside down.
Yeah.
He was playing older, so there'd be prosthetics involved and whatnot. But under AI conditions, he would just be in it normally.
No, that's what I'm saying. And because we're talking about mid 80s,
30 years ago.
Yeah, think about how the technology's moved on now.
Right.
Like, remember I told you guys, Venom 2, they had the back of me running. You saw that?
Yeah. And they never told you that.
I never filmed that, and I never did. You're right. They never told me that. I'm just seeing. I'm like, wait a minute, what the? That's
They
me.
had it in '93 with The Crow. Like when Brandon Lee died, they've got 3 or 4 scenes which is Chaz Stahelski's body and Brandon Lee's face superimposed over it, and you don't know that's happening.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know when I saw the film. Because I was quite young and you didn't know what was what. And where what. But that's the scary thing. They can't just have people. Do you know what I mean?
Because what they tried to do, they tried to hoodwink the SAG at first with this, because they tried to make it look like it was only going to be background actors.
Yeah.
But we all know that's just a testing ground.
Starts.
Right, exactly. That's how it starts.
So, and there's people that make a living from background acting.
Right.
Like the extras. Extras are important.
Yeah, 100%.
Extras are just as important, not,
and they're important to have them there.
Yes.
Because if I'm there with a bunch of extras, it gives me that believability
There's
of
no
what I'm
authenticity
doing.
of what you do. There's a
Right,
realness to it. The
right,
environment
yeah.
feels.
Exactly. Whereas if you just got a green screen and you just got freak, you're gonna put him in later.
Yeah.
That doesn't help me.
Yeah, that's
That
it.
was-
I'm in the crowd. You're in the crowd right now.
That was the issue that McKellen had when he did Lord of the Rings. He said like there was a part where he started doing The Hobbit and he came back and he had a breakdown on set. He said, I'm fed up of acting with tennis balls. He said, I need a human being to interact with, because also all the Hobbits are all like, at that point were put in later on.
Yeah.
And he said, I can't do this anymore. He said, I'm on a green screen, I'm acting off a tennis ball. He said, what am I getting from this?
Yeah.
And I understand that.
Yeah.
And it's a big franchise, so it was going on for long. You can understand one film.
Imagine
I did one film.
Yeah.
You chalk it up. You know what? That was horrible. I don't want to do it again. But they were lots of them were doing that.
There was 3
all
of
the
them,
time.
wasn't it? And there was long ass shoots. They were like 6-month shoots.
Yeah.
You know
We
what I
did
mean?
6 of them because Hobbit was 3 films plus Lord of the Rings. He did 6 of them.
Oh, bro.
Oh yeah. So
There you
yeah,
go.
tennis
There you
ball
go.
done.
Yeah,
Tennis ball
man.
done. But yeah, it's over. So, but I just want to see the paperwork.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah,
That's all I'm gonna
And
say.
like I said, it affected the industry big time over here. So, and true to form, what Damien just said.
Yeah.
We forget about. I mean, we think about actors and all the others, like the below the line people, like the grit, all these people that work below the line. Locations and all of that. They've not worked. And so yeah, it's good that they'll be back to work. But also, I've heard that IATSE are going to be having their thing soon, and they represent all the below line people in America. So let's see if they got the stomach for more strikes, because I know a lot. I mean, even the studios have lost money over this. And don't get me wrong, I'm not crying a river over that, but even they must see the futility of their their ways. Like trying to force this AI issue. Warner Brothers that said that and this was 2.5 months into the strike, they lost $500 million. $500 million. So that's probably $1 billion there.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, what was the point of that? Like, obviously you're going to recoup that very quickly. But the point is, you lost $1 billion. Like, and then apparently also from the John Campbell show, and I believe it obviously because you mentioned it as well earlier. A lot of the peripheral businesses, like the restaurants, the prop businesses, they're all out of business. A lot of them are out of business. There's no way for them to come back now. You know what I mean? So. Yeah, it's sad, but at least it's over, and let's see.
Now.
Yeah, for now, because we forget this is a 3-year deal.
Yeah. So by the time I come back into acting, we'll be on strike again.
Yeah, it's a 3-year deal, which I've never understood. This 3 years. What's the point? Like at least 5. Like. So we'll potentially be going through. I mean, I've heard a lot of people say, no, we won't because blah blah blah. But you don't know.
No,
you don't know, and especially like you said, if we don't know the exact wording of this AI thing, who knows? We could be revisiting this in the next 3 years. You know?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a funny one, man. But anything else you guys want to add?
No. Anything you want to add?
Put
Leave a comment
down below, please.
Please.
Not that damn.
No.